What other physical issue do we have?
Well,
I know we have diabetes, but what symptoms do we have?
Well, the coughing and so on. But like I said, since that's so much abated, I don't know if we can do anything with that.
I know. You coughed a time or two earlier on in the session. You haven't coughed since we started, that I recall it, since we started doing this stuff about breathing. It's okay if you cough. Okay, if you're going to cough, just go cough, because we want to know if and when it comes up.
Well, I can tell you this. Normally, if I take a deep breath, I cough.
Oh, okay.
It's just an automatic.
That's just what happens.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, okay, we're just going to try to do something. I want you to try to take a deep breath in such a manner that you're going to try to create a cough. That's instruction you never heard before, but anyway, start taking your breath or whatever, and try to get it so you can cough. Just try to do it however you do it. Do it right. Seems okay?
Yeah, because see, normally, you know, when the doctor asks you to do that, I always wonder what in the hell he hears, because once I...
Oh, he's going like this, you know.
Well, I know, but he's doing that, but I'm coughing, so how in the hell does he hear?
Yeah.
I don't know, but it works for him.
It's a good way to make a doctor go deaf, I guess, or something. Okay. Any other physical symptoms you're thinking of that you have going on, other than the fact your blood sugar is abnormal as a result of having diabetes?
Yeah. And nothing, you know, that's unique. It's not like any amazing pains or...
All right. And there's not much of any way. I mean, I asked you to bring your fasting blood sugar stuff, because you test that from time to time and so on. And if you had, this is the third day of a workshop. If you'd been here the first day, we could have done some stuff and then maybe tested the blood sugar later on. But we didn't have a chance. Things didn't unfold that way. So we're here the third day. So there's no way we're really going to be able to test, at least during this workshop, you know, how that is. Okay, we just coughed. Okay. I want to ask you something. Are you aware of any emotional issue showing up, or it just showed up?
No, nothing. I think it just showed up.
Okay, take your breath again and try to cough. Okay, all right. Well, we'll just notice. We'll just notice. I don't know if we're going to get rid of your cough forever or what, but we've done something with it temporarily at least. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Now, the really difficult issue I'm going to save, okay? But I'm going to talk a little bit, if I may here. John has had a Vietnam experience, which is extraordinarily intense for him. We worked on the phone. It was a point where he had a very difficult time, very difficult, even talking. It took us about 30 or 40 minutes, something like that. As you can tell, it's very intense for him, okay? And for the first time, he at least got the story out, which, from my point of view, if we start here, and this is the end result, the best end result, we got about this far, and that was big for you, okay? Yeah. But in my perception, going to here, which is we don't have any tears, but it's just one of those things that happened. So we didn't get there with you, but what we did get was big for you. Yeah. And then your lady friend Dot did some tapping with you, because there's more parts of the story, and you were able to sit with intensity. You were finally able to say that. So that's going from here to here, maybe. But here we're not there yet. Okay. Now, one of the things I want to do is I don't want to go directly for it, because it's too intense. It is, as far as I can tell, too connected to too many other things in your life, or maybe better stated, other things are connected to it, whatever. So I want to go to a seemingly different issue. I don't want to jump into that water at this moment. Okay. And what I'm going to try to do is because I know some of what happened on your story. One of your takes on it is you were responsible for it, and there's a blame kind of thing for it, etc. Okay, I mean that's part of the issue. So what I want to do, because since that seemed to be so centerpiecey, if that's the right term, in your response to it. I want to go back to childhood, and I wanted, because you had told me that you were given great responsibility even as a child. Okay, so we're going to leave Vietnam alone. Okay, we're going to go back to childhood. Mm-hmm. You have some issues, with your father, family, none of which I have big detail on. Okay, but what I'd like to have you do is go back at a time. Well, first of all, tell me, from a responsibility point of view, what responsibility was put on you, and at what age?
Well, it was just always expected that if whatever Dad requested to be done, you were to be able to do it.
Even if it's beyond your capacity?
Well, an example, Dad ran out of daughters, so they were the ones that did the typing for him. He brought me a Greg typing manual, and
he bought you it's a Greg
typing manual.
Okay, right, okay.
And told me to teach myself to type, and so I did.
Okay, at what age are you now?
11.
Okay.
And I don't know, I was amazed that it worked. But that's what I was supposed to do.
What worked? That you were able to type at age 11? Okay.
All right. Anyway, again, in my family, if Dad told you to do that, you did it. So
okay.
You were just expected to do things, the term earlier, do it right.
Yeah, okay.
So
what I'd like to ask you about that is, where does responsibility come in?
Because it was my responsibility to learn it and to be there to do Dad's work for him.
And if you did not live up to your responsibility, then
that
what?
Would be failing Dad.
Be failing Dad, okay. This appears to be a major core issue because John's Vietnam experience bounces off of this whole thing about being responsible. And his dad's behind that, and his dad's an authority figure in all of this. And so what we need to do here is to start using EFT to address, and if we can, unravel some of this intense conditioning by his father about being responsible for everything, because that just makes the one experience that he had monumentally worse. Because what did he do? He fell down on his responsibility. He failed Dad. Now, he may not be verbalizing that and never thought about it in those terms since that experience. But it's in the background, and we're addressing it now to John's benefit. All right. And there are lots of circumstances in your life where you were given this responsibility?
As a result of that type of thing, I just seems like I was always in the position of being in charge of, because I automatically thought in terms of how to do it. If something was put in front of me, I automatically went to that, and that equated to me being in charge most of the times.
And if it didn't go well, does that mean I'm not acting responsibly, or does that mean I didn't please Dad, or something else?
The two are kind of interchangeable.
Okay. Okay. So if you're not pleasing Dad, you're not being responsible. Okay. All right. So, correct me if I'm wrong. What I'm getting is we're growing up having to please Dad.
Well, yeah.
Okay. And that's a big theme.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay. And you are now taking care of your father in his later years.
Yeah.
Okay. You're on disability. Okay. And it's your father and your mother you're taking care of.
Yeah.
And your dad will frequently say something to you and trigger you, which you've been tapping for with off and on success.
That's been my tapping.
Yeah, that's been your major tapping. Because it's in your face all the time.
Yeah.
Okay. Now, I notice you cough a little bit. Is that because we're talking about Dad?
Yeah, probably.
Okay. Take a deep breath and in the process say, Dad. I just want to see what happens.
can.
You can. Okay. All right. All right. All right. All right. Even though I can't take a deep breath and say Dad.
Even though I can't take a deep breath.
And say Dad. I deeply, completely, just stay with me, okay? Just let me talk, all right? All right, Dad. Just stay with me. Dad, you don't have to say it. Dad and all it represents. Just let me talk with you, okay? Dad and all it represents. Dad and all he represents. Dad and all the stuff I took on. Dad and my response to Dad. All the problems Dad had that were laid on me and my response to that. It's mostly my response I'm concerned about here. People do what they do. Dads do what they do for reasons they think are appropriate. And that's what they do. It's my response. Okay, I have to do it right or I'll never please Dad. And if I don't please Dad, how can I get love? Okay? How did that land? Okay, all right. If I don't please Dad, how can I get... Dad is the source of my love, possibly. Okay?
That's where I thought I would find
That's where you thought it was, okay. Dad is my source of love, and he doesn't know how to do it. He doesn't know how to do it. And I keep looking to the source. They can't give it. He doesn't know how. You know, given his own background, his own beliefs, his own experiences in life, he does what he needs to do. He gives me responsibility, and damn it, I better do it right. I've got to please him. And he thinks that's how to raise a son, raise children. Am I accurate?
Yeah.
Okay, so I'm not in your father's shoes. I'm just going by intuition and by experience and stuff, okay? So you correct me if any of this is not on target, all right? Okay. So the real problem here is not what Dad says or what Dad's beliefs are and so on. It's my response to them. Say my response to them.
My response to them.
My response to them.
My response to
It's
them.
my emotional response.
My emotional response.
Do you know logically better?
Yeah.
Okay. That what he was, I mean, there was no real reason for you to be, feel that responsible, other than the fact your dad just put it on you, and you had to search for love, and you had to do what he had to do, or there was consequences, including no love. Okay.
Well, he was never physical, but even if you did it extremely well, you barely got attention.
Yes, yes.
And
okay.
the last thing you wanted to deal with was his lecture explaining to you what you did wrong.
Yes, okay. And why would your father want to lecture you about what you did wrong? What would be his motivation? I mean, here you're a youngster, okay? And common sense says, you know, you only have so many experiences in life. You only have, you know, so much background in doing these things. Why would he put so much in? What would be his motivation?
I just... well, I don't know. At one point, I thought it was to teach me to do it better.
Okay, all right.
As I've grown in time and experience, I think a lot of it is because he's insecure about who he is, and to keep me from feeling good keeps him feeling better.
Yeah, people, as strange as that may seem, people tend to do that. Because one of the things we all do as people is we want to feel better. We want to feel better about ourselves. Just about everybody does it, okay? Yeah. I have a little thing I talk about when it's called gossip, you know. Now, you may not gossip, but everybody else does, you know what I mean?
I
okay. You
know, I talk fact.
Yeah, okay. You talk fact, but everybody else gossips, okay? Yeah. But see, if you and I were talking about somebody over there, okay, and we both happen to know them, our conversation might go like, well, you know, last Saturday I saw them do so-and-so. So we might talk about that, and you might say, well, you know, that wasn't too good. Okay? I mean, that might be a conversation. Mm-hmm. We're gossiping about them. Now, they're not even in this conversation. They're not here to defend themselves, or, you know, but that's what they're doing. People gossip. Mm-hmm. And the reason they gossip, well, I'm going to give you my reason they gossip, okay, is to elevate themselves compared to somebody else. We have a need to do that. We want to feel okay about ourselves. We have varying degrees of feeling okay about various times when we feel okay about ourselves, to varying degrees of feeling okay about ourselves. But we're pretty consistent gossipers. We do these kind of things, you know. And so we need to feel better about ourselves. That includes parents who will often launch off of their children not even knowing what they're doing, okay? Now that's not really gossip he's doing, but what I want to point out is the built-in need so many people have. Okay, that's not to excuse him, it's to understand what's going on. Okay, okay. Even though Dad put all this on me.
Even though Dad put all this on me.
And I took it on.
And I took it on.
What else could I do at age 11?
What else could I do?
As a youngster.
As a youngster.
And over time, he's actually conditioning me.
He's conditioning me to do that.
Because this is how life is. You need to be responsible. You need to chase Dad's love.
You need to do that.
Anything you can get, anything you do is get Dad's love. And now I'm even taking care of him.
Yeah, I'm taking care of him.
And I'm still not getting it.
And I'm still not getting it.
Because he doesn't have it to give. Okay. He doesn't have it to give.
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 Okay. He doesn't have
it to give.
I don't have to chase it.
I don't have to chase it.
Okay. If I do, it's on me.
If I do, it's on me.
It's on me. I'm chasing something that can't be.
I'm chasing something that can never be.
Okay. The pot of gold at the end of the rainbow.
The pot of gold at the end of the rainbow.
The illusory pot of gold.
The illusory pot of gold.
It says Dad's love on it.
It says Dad's love on it.
But you'll never find it.
No.
Because he doesn't know how to do it.
No, not a clue.
We don't need anger for him. We need understanding. We need compassion. Okay. As difficult as that may be, as he insults you day in and day out, right? Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
As difficult as that is.
Okay. Take a deep breath again. Okay. What number do you give that one?
8 or 9.
8 or 9?
Yeah.
Okay. Look reasonably free compared to where you started.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Say this sentence for me and assess for me how true it sounds. Okay. On a scale of 0 to 10. 10 is very true and 0 is false. Say, I need Dad's love. Okay, pretty true. Okay, pretty true. All right. See, we've been talking about logical stuff here. Okay. Emotionally, we need Dad's love. Okay. Okay. You were here earlier today when I was dealing with Grover, and I had her close her eyes and radiate love. Did you do that?
Yeah.
Okay. And you picked out someone you had affection for and radiated love? Tell you what's interesting about that. What we try to do, what you try to do, I try to do, just about everybody tries to do, mistakenly, is we try to get love. Under a variety of circumstances. We try to get people's admiration. We try to get their touches and their hugs. We try to get their compliments, their companionship. We try to get all kinds of things that say, okay, I'm okay, somebody loves me. We're trying to get somebody's love, okay? One of the stories I tell is as a youngster, I was good at football, and in fact, I was sort of like the top of the heap kind of thing. And if somebody came to me and said, at that time, as a teenager, they said, well, why do you play football? You beat your body. You ever play football?
No.
Okay, you beat your body up unbelievably. The first 2 weeks of early ball, it's called, where you're working out twice a day, I mean, your muscles scream at you. I mean, it was awful. But if you had asked me why I'm doing it, I would have said for the love of the game, okay? Bullshit. But that's what I thought then, all right? You know why I was doing it? Because the crowd cheered. The crowd, that's love, isn't it? I was looking for love. I had a very loving mother who really didn't know how to show it in terms of hugging and touching and things like that. Just did not know how to show it. And if you followed me around, you'd have found me a popular kid, getting good grades and all that kind of stuff. It goes on. You'd also seen my fingernails were bit until they bled every day. Okay, interesting. All right. Searching for love. We do all kinds of things for love, and yet what we're trying to do is get it. We're trying to get it somehow rather than radiate it. When you were radiating the love, were you feeling love?
Yeah.
Okay.
Matter of fact, I almost went into a trance while I was. I don't know if you noticed that when you finished, someone clapped. That was me because I just startled away.
Oh, okay.
I was thinking about my son and daughter, and It was just, you know, it was just in a, well, sort of a trance.
Well, okay, follow me a second here. To me, the only way you can really get love is not to go out and get it on the outside world and get it. It is to feel it, to radiate it, to put it out. That is how you sat there in your chair and got love in a way, did you not?
Yeah.
You didn't get it from somebody else on the other side of the room. They didn't come here and give it to you by caressing you and telling you how wonderful and handsome you are and all smart you are and everything else.
Well, that's true.
That's true. They didn't. Well, I know it's all true. Yeah, but nobody else came to do that.
That's true.
Okay, you didn't get it in that way.
Yeah.
You generated it, which is how we get love.
Yeah.
We got it backwards. We try to get it from the outside when what we need to do is radiate it from the inside. And so with your father, your dad, you're trying to get it. Are you not?
Yeah.
Okay. Even though I don't know how to get love,
Even though I don't know how to get
I'm
love,
trying to get it
I'm trying to get
from a
it
source that isn't giving it.
from a source that's not giving it.
And the way to do it
And the way to do
is
it
already within me.
is already within me.
All I have to do is practice it.
All I have to do is practice it.
Now, is this a true statement?
I just can't envision it is all.
You can't envision it. You can't envision practicing it, or can't envision
No,
feeling loved?
It's just been so long with Dad that the concept of loving him now is...
Okay. All right, well, I wasn't necessarily talking about loving your father. I was just talking about the whole idea of love. You just demonstrate that with your own, when sitting in your chair.
Yeah.
You were in this trance. It was so good.
Yeah.
Was it not?
Oh,
Can you do it now?
yes.
Well, why don't you? All right, take our time. We have all the time in the world. Do what you need to do.